right, it's gonna be a wonderful and a glorious day. As we'll say, huge good morning to all of you as we're now finding ways around the gremlins that are trying to be present. And right now, thank you so much for sticking with us as we're going through the pursuit of success this morning. So I just want to test the mic here. So hello, Ken, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Oh, that works beautifully. Oh gosh, that's great. And you can hear me well, yeah?
Yeah, I can hear you really well.
Oh, there we go, modern technology. Take that, gremlins. All right, thank you, Ken, for joining us this morning on the Breakfast Show. Yep. Literally, I've been harping on about you. You was on the Breakfast Show quite a while ago before the lockdown, and I'm a fan of your work because I started following you on YouTube. Those of you who don't know, he has a YouTube channel, The Humble Penny, and I literally just started following his information because your channel gave me so many insights I never thought about. You did something where you had a board and you was like, you know what, you could pay your mortgage off early, and he just started to go on the whiteboard and he started to write down all this stuff. I'm like, oh my gosh, it is possible. Oh wow, is that how it works? And I was just on the other side of my laptop screen getting so excited at what you've been showing me, and it's span off into all this other material that you've got. And just to let our listeners know, Ken, this guy, when it comes to money, his background, he has a first-class honors degree in economics and accounting. He also a chartered accountant, so he manages money. All right, and he's experienced in setting up and building and selling businesses, and he's worked with high growth and small medium-sized businesses. And not to mention, since you've done the Humble Penny, you've just expanded into so many other things, right? So many other things. But just a quick question, because obviously we've got some of our listeners here, and they probably missed you the first time, and usually it's so easy for us to get caught up in who the person is now, what the person is doing now, right? But just briefly, just we have an idea what you're doing now, and people are going to catch on to what you're doing now, and you've become very valuable. But just very briefly, what was your background? What background are you coming from?
So first of all, thanks for that really kind intro. I just want to thank everyone listening. It's good to hear people tuning in and listening. Really appreciate you guys tuning in to listen to me and Robert on this show this morning. My background is, I always begin, as you say, it's good to know where people have come from. I'm a first generation immigrant to the UK. I moved here in 1998.
Oh, wow.
And began life from ground zero with no money at all, no connections, no rights, nothing. Just started with beneath everybody else. And so everything that has happened up till now has been all about a combination of studying and learning, but also practically creating things. So kind of using my inbuilt wiring as being made in the image of God as a creator, using that ability to create things has just led me to gradually believe in myself, because a lot of the journey has been about kind of unpacking a lot of lack of belief, lack of self-awareness, so many things that I lacked along the way, but trying things out and failing along the way has helped me to learn a lot. And through that, I've just carried on, building the right habits and so on. I worked so for those you didn't mention this, but I worked in the investment business in London for the last 15 years. And in April 2020, lockdown basically offered me a gift, which was that I quit my job and I focused on running the Humble Penny full time with my wife. So my career has been all about kind of getting to that executive role. So I became a chief financial officer, working in an area of asset management known as venture capital, and that offered me a lot of practical experience. All the good stuff that you get from a career. But there was something else that I deeply wanted. I felt like I was being called to have impact in the world in a different way. And we'd started a Humble Penny in 2017, and it was gradually starting to get out there and reach various people. But 2020, with all the stuff that was going on with This is in April 2020. In fact, this month marks it to be 1 year since I left my full-time role.
So wait. So let me backtrack you a bit there, Ken, because you're shooting off. All right, this is great. All right. So let me understand what we've got going on here. All right.
Yeah.
So just to recap. So first generation immigrant, right? That means no rights. You started fresh. So if we've got listeners now who are immigrants in the country, if you're a person that's ready to, and what Ken said, to believe, because at first you had to do with a lack of belief, and once you overcame that, that's when certain things started to happen. That's when there was some movement, right?
Yeah.
So lack of belief. Once you start to overcome that, you saw yourself as a creator. So we go through the process of education. We go through the process of work. You obviously, I perceive, just by the qualifications you acquire, you would say to yourself, what do I need to do next? And you apply yourself to do it, right?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And dreaming as well. Like, let's not forget, Robert, like, in this country, we don't a lot of people don't really go for what they want to achieve. They might have some ideas about what they want to achieve, but not a lot of people actually practically do it. Those things remain as ideas. For me, I always ultimately wanted to become my own boss, as it were. One day I wanted to run my own business, because I'd spent so many years doing it for other people. I'd become a key person in finance. I became a chief financial officer. I was helping other people create their own wealth. And I'd seen so many other people over the years build wealth in different ways. And for me, this journey has been about kind of, how do I explore doing this for my family? How do I go about doing this for myself, and having been on that journey for a decade of actually building wealth with my wife, worth mentioning, because this hasn't been a single journey.
Ooh, we're going to go on to that one of these Tuesdays.
We're now teaching it. This is what we're doing. We're just, we're sharing information and helping people take action.
Yeah. So two things you just said there, and I think this is something that we need to kind of pull out from ourselves, is that, so you was in a situation where you could see things moving on in your life, right? And the thing is, two things you said about thinking and dreaming big. And I think the environment that you kind of worked yourself into allowed you to see what opportunities looked like, right? And then you said something about, but people fail to go after what they want. And I think that's because in this country there's a lot of reasons. When you get certain things, you could be in a place where it could be quite comfortable. Would you agree?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. There are. It sounds very cliche, but one major reason why a lot of people aren't moving ahead is because they are living too comfortably right now, and they're not really pushing themselves outside of what they might consider their ordinary zone of operation, where they might operate ordinarily. I'll give you an example. So for anybody listening right now, I'm going to ask, what's the most amount of money you've ever made in 1 year? Okay, picture that amount in your mind, and then what I want to ask you is, how has that amount changed in the last 5 years to 10 years? If that amount hasn't changed very much, then it means that you have been investing in other people and their businesses rather than investing in yourself. Because the only way one's income, one's wealth, things like that change is by ultimately prioritizing yourself and almost seeing yourself as the key asset, and doing everything possible to kind of grow your skill set, grow your practical knowledge, experiment with various things, take some risks, things like that, push you outside of that comfort zone I talked about earlier.
Wow, amazing. That's a really powerful analogy, because what you just asked us now prompts all of us to think, isn't it? How much, what's the most amount of money you've made in a year? Have you ever, has that been consistent in your life, or have you always remained around that figure? It's true. And imagine, and in that year, we would have complained about different things, right? We would have complained about things that we're not happy with. We would have complained like, oh, you know what? You know, I want to do this in my church, or I want to get this vehicle, I want to acquire this house, but we never actually think to, you know, to materialize things like that. What's the most you've made in a year, and how has it been, you know, through the time? Like, has it always remained around that figure? That's actually quite shocking.
Do you know why I asked that question, Robert? The reason I asked that question is most people are actually not earning enough money to keep up with the pace of price increases around us.
Yeah.
So every year prices are going up around us.
Yeah.
But every year, not every employer offers people a pay rise or, you know, a bonus or a commission or whatever. Yeah. So a lot of people are actually living behind the curve in that they're not actually earning enough money. But earning enough money, earning more money doesn't necessarily mean that your lifestyle suddenly goes up. Do you understand what I mean?
Absolutely.
The whole point of more income is it enables you to do more, but if you keep your lifestyle around the same, like if you maintain what me and my wife call a simple lifestyle, then what that allows you to then do each month is create a buffer. You basically, every month, you're no longer earning, say, £3,000 and spending 2,900. You're maybe earning, you know, say 5,000 and spending 2,900. So there's a buffer being created there. And the beauty of that buffer is that buffer then becomes your opportunity for wealth creation. Because you can ask a better question. You can ask a better quality question. Because most people who don't have a buffer are living paycheck to paycheck. But those people who have a buffer can say, I've now got $5,000 left in my savings account. How can I make this money work for me? See, that's a better quality question for somebody to ask. But you can only ask that question if you've managed to live significantly below your means, or if you've been able to create other income opportunities.
You know, you've just kind of slapped us all with your words, Ken. You've literally just gone, wake up! I'm saying that because, like, it's not often that people hear the reality. That's right. The reality. The reality but the only way you're going to create income opportunities is if you've got in-demand skills that people want. You know, like this lockdown has made us all realize that we all need digital skills. Right? So beyond just using the internet for browsing the net and going on social media, how do you use the internet as a producer? How do you use it as someone who basically offers value, and somebody one day puts their hands in their pocket, takes out a debit card or credit card and says, you know what, because you've solved my problem via the internet, I am going to pay you for solving my problem. So how do we do that? How can everyone listening basically up their skill set to that point where they can, wherever they are in the world, I don't know where people are listening from, but I can be in London and have somebody in America or in Africa or in the Caribbean or in Australia paying me because I'm solving their problem. Wow. And you know what's quite interesting? We're missing this point. We're in a digital age. You know, distance is no longer an issue. You know, we have courier companies, FedEx, all kinds of things working for us that literally the world literally is our oyster. And it's just a case of realizing it and upskilling ourselves to utilize these kind of facilities that are available to us.
And you know what as well, the thing about upskilling is many people think that they just need to go and get the next qualification. And there's nothing wrong with that. I went and got an MBA, and MBA has helped me a lot in my life so far. But it's not really about that, because not everybody can do that. There are various creative ways of getting what you want. Say, for example, if you identify somebody who you admire, somebody you look up to, somebody you think has experience in a particular area, a good thing to do is to reach out to them. It's like the quickest shortcut way of learning something is to go to somebody who actually knows what you're talking about and say to them, look, I kind of think I need to grow in this area. Can you support me? And see it as an investment. And that might be your way of learning as quickly as possible without having to wait 2 years or 3 years to actually do it, or without actually not doing anything because of inaction. So there are different ways of solving the same problem is what I'm trying to get at, Robert.
Wow. You know what you're doing now? You're making me be like, duh. So, duh, come on. We've got things like LinkedIn, we've got things like Facebook. We've got access to different types of people. And it's amazing. And just to kind of backtrack, because you're already just freely flowing, Ken. It's already, the golden nuggets are flying already. All right, it is what it is, and we are gonna go to a break, okay? And we're gonna come back to find out how your lockdown was. All right.
Sure.
We're going to go to that. But I just want to point out a few things that Ken shared with us. And what he said to us was this, and I think this is something that we all are guilty of. I'm super guilty of it. It says the whole point of more income, all right, is it allows you to make a buffer. All right, this is a really crucial thing. So what Ken is saying, and I've seen one of the shows he's done on this, and I think this would be something that we can actually talk about on one of our Tuesdays. We'll see how it goes. But basically, it's about controlling your outgoings, controlling living below your means, and purposefully creating this buffer. Sometimes you might need to change the pack that you have, your media pack for your internet or whichever, or things that are not of great value for your Sky, just so you can create that buffer. Maybe you need to look to reevaluate your mobile phone monthly plan, all these kind of things, so that your money you have more left over, but not just for it to be there, but for you to create this buffer, which Ken is saying you can use it to make that money work for you. I like the book, The Richest Man in Babylon, and it speaks about, save, always keeping 10%, and that will create babies eventually when you apply it into something. So guys, start thinking about making that buffer and then how money can work for you. And also what he said about upskilling. Now, while Ken touched on this, I want to seize the opportunity just to let everyone know that the government is now releasing free courses for people to upskill or reskill in certain areas. When I saw that, I saw marketing, media marketing, social media marketing. Do you know what I mean? So what Ken is saying is very relevant. The government knows it's going to be necessary, and things have been added to us for free. All right, guys. So look, this guy Ken is on fire. He's always dropping the nuggets. So what we're going to do now is we're going to go for a very quick timeout to digest everything that we've heard from him right now. Wake everybody else up, because we're going to find out what Ken did during his lockdown, because just because we got a lockdown doesn't mean our mind has to shut down. And that's what we've been seeing here consistently on The Breakfast Show. You can go out and make something. All right, so just before we go, what's it called? Francesca says, Robert and team, please provide Ken with a hot coffee and some croissants. Okay, Ken, our listeners are thinking about you. So Les from Edmonton saying, I feel targeted. Lots of love. Just bought clothes I really need. I'm gonna refund it. Okay. And also we have Suspension saying I didn't need. So she bought. Okay. So look, it's happening here, guys. It's your breakfast show. Ken's going to be with us right now. We're going to go for a very quick timeout, and when we come back, we're going to find out about his lockdown. All right, it's all happening on The Breakfast Show. We'll be right back right after this.
More music variety.
Liberty Radio.
Okay, guys, that's right. We're going to have a wonderful and a great day. We just can't say enough here on The Breakfast Show. You're going to have a good day. It just is. Ain't it right, Ken?
Yeah.
It's
going to be an amazing day.
An amazing day, a sensational day. All right, guys, and we've got here the one and only Ken Okoarofo from the Humble Penny. It was literally just, we were just kind of finding out a bit about him, but already he started firing lots of golden nuggets at us, just because you can see he's clearly passionate about what he does, about literally impacting people's life for them to achieve their financial independence. And this is what he does. And those of you who have any emails that you want to send to Ken, we're just putting his website on the screen right now, which is thehumblepenny.com. thehumblepenny.com, and you're going to see him with his lovely wife there. These two are like a lovely dynamic duo. It's just wonderful. Ken, when I see you, I just see like a nice complete picture. I see you, your wife, your family, and your kids, doing the things that you love. It's amazing. We love it.
No, thank you for that. Thank you.
Yeah.
Being very frank, it takes a lot of deliberate intention to have all that together. So just worth mentioning. But it really is. It's a blessing in many ways.
Absolutely, I love that word, deliberate intention, because it's so easy for human beings for us to just coast, isn't it?
No, absolutely.
Absolutely. It's something very easy. So what we're going to do now, we're just going to be asking a bit about how lit was your lockdown, all right? Because obviously you had the Humble Penny going, in the early part of 2020, right? And you was already starting to make some new moves. I mean, what kind of plans were you looking to do at before the lockdown started? What did you guys have planned?
So it's interesting you asked that, because on the 29th of February 2020, we launched our sister platform called Financial Joy Academy at financialjoyacademy.com. And that was we didn't see the lockdown coming when we were launching that. That was our second, call it online platform, as it were, because my wife and I had basically started 2020 with a major commitment, which is for the decade to help 10,000 families achieve financial independence.
Fantastic.
The Financial Joy Academy is the platform that is, in addition to the Humble Penny, that's helping us do that. So whilst we were launching that, celebrating, party poppers were going off, there was something heading our way from the other part of the world, which was this pandemic. And so we didn't see it coming at all. But basically the lockdown, and obviously lockdown came later, but that whole thing basically presented a mixture of opportunities and challenges as well.
Okay, so I mean, what were the kind of challenges that you was confronted with?
So from a challenge perspective, there was mental health. So I was not really used to having this feeling of loss of control and being confined to spaces, being confined to our home for months. And at the same time, not used to homeschooling our children. So
sorry to cut you, but that one was already one to tip the mental health.
Yeah. This was a major challenge for us, because we've got two boys. We love our kids. They're incredible children, but boy, are they a handful. And so we were not prepared for homeschooling for months, and the school put pressure and that they wanted various things done. Wow. And obviously we had work, we had our business to run, our communities to serve, and so on. And we had ourselves, we had a marriage, we had our family, everything to kind of manage as well. So there was just so much happening at the same time. And so that was a real kind of a real moment when you just realize, you look around you see your house completely upside down because you haven't had time to clean the house, you haven't had time to do anything, and you're just thinking to yourself, and you're cleaning. We used to have someone who used to come to the house to help us out once a week with cleaning, because we just had so much going on. You couldn't have that anymore. There's just so many things being taken away, and you couldn't go anywhere. You can't go on holiday. You can't even go to the park. There were just so many things that were happening, and it became a challenge, a real challenge, and a battle at the same time, trying to stay and not forgetting we've got thousands of people who we support every week through our content and stuff, and a lot of people are looking up to us for strength, for support, and so trying to be strong for them as well was a challenge.
That's huge. So listen, so what you're seeing here is that the lockdown or any situation that may confront us is not the problem. You know what I mean? Because the plague literally will hit everybody. You know, we think it hit Ken, you know, obviously because of what he was building at the time. He had a lot at stake, as you said, because now you've put yourself as like a leader. You know, you're in that role that people look up to, you know what I mean, for guidance, and you couldn't let people down. So that must have felt like a bit of a weight, you know. So imagine you had to balance all these things. You had to balance kids, you had to balance family. So no one is immune to this situation. Everybody's faced it in different ways, on different levels, at different degrees, depending on what's happening in their life. But even you yourself, you know, that was helping to encourage and support other people. You was not immune to the consequences of the lockdown.
Oh, no, by any means at all. But I tell you what was different for us, Robert, which was very, compared to what we were seeing out there, was that because we'd spent a decade working on our finances, building up our net worth and stuff like that. When the lockdown came, and we unfortunately kept seeing many people lose their jobs, and many relationships were being impacted, because a lot of people don't have, unfortunately, and this is the reality, a lot of people don't have any savings, What was different for us was that, we were just blessed to have worked towards this, was we didn't have to worry about that. So we had our mortgage had been paid off.
Wow.
We had, we didn't have to worry about money, which I can tell you, listen, right, it's so weird to hear me even saying that as somebody who began the journey in this country without a penny, to not just to my name, but to my family's name.
Oh, wow.
So I guess what I'm trying to say indirectly is, for anyone who's listening, right, and this will be difficult to accept, but where we are financially right now is a choice. And we can choose to leave that place we are financially right now as well. But it takes a lot of determination, a lot of working towards a plan, a lot of creativity. It takes a lot of cutting against the grain. Yeah. So I give you an example, practical example. We drive a 2013 Nissan Leaf. That car cost us about £9,000 to buy. Yeah. I could have bought a car of maybe 46,000 or 57,000 because my friends are driving those cars. Yeah. Yeah. But my wife and I said, no, we don't need that. What we need is a car that can fit our two children at the back and can fit us both in front and can move us from where we want to get to, and is, works for our budget, because it's much cheaper for us to run an electric car than it is to run a guzzling, a much bigger car. I'm not judging anybody who has those cars. I'm just saying, for us, it works better for us. That choice puts money in our pockets. Do you understand what I'm saying? So I guess what I'm saying is, everybody listening, every day they wake up, either deliberately, directly or indirectly making choices. And those choices are shifting and changing the future. Wow. So every choice you make is changing something in the future. Every pound that you make a choice against is changing something about your future. Every single pound. You might go, it's just a pound. No. That pound has a purpose. So it's what purpose are you giving that pound? Or dollar, for those people listening from, I don't know, outside the UK, yeah? Or euro, whatever.
Or yen, yeah.
What purpose are you giving that £1, $1, €1, £1, one whatever, right? It matters, because that choice you make then determines your future. Say, for example, you see last night, yeah? Last night was a significant moment. Why was it? It was the 5th of April. It was the cutoff for the tax year end. Everybody in this country gets £20,000 per year tax-free. But I can tell you, Robert, that not everybody knew that. And not everybody put some money towards their tax-free investment accounts, such that they didn't have to pay any tax on that money forever.
Wow.
Again, that's a choice. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So every single day we're presented with a load of different choices that then have the potential to either improve our finances and wealth over time, or work against us, basically.
Hugo. Hugo, are you with me, Hugo? Are you getting all this? He's in deep meditation. Oh my days. Okay, guys. Ken, I think we can finish the program right now. Just on that note, you've literally summed up the whole thing. There doesn't even need to be 3 Tuesdays. But I think, and what you're basically saying to us, the power literally is in our hands. Sometimes.
Oh yeah.
Many.
Yeah, listen, this is such a big topic. The power is in our hands, and the power is in our choices. I didn't talk about this, but during the lockdown, I had to change a number of things about myself in order to kind of thrive in this moment. For example, I had to start to cultivate certain habits. Like, we wake up at 5 a.m. every day now.
Oh, wow.
Yeah?
Okay.
Monday to Friday, 5 a.m. Get up. And at 5 a.m., we log into Zoom with our community. Our community, some of them log in who are working on their side hustles and things like that, and it becomes a co-working space. What does that do? That makes you work on your business, your side hustle. You're not just making excuses and procrastinating. You're working on the thing, putting in that 1 hour, 2 hours per day to see that thing progress. 1 hour to 2 hours per day for 365 days a year is more work than you can imagine, more progress than you can imagine.
Wow.
So waking up was one thing we started to do, waking up earlier. Surrounding yourself with some good people, because obviously this period we've been going through, it's been challenging for everybody. Being able to call some good friends and lean on people who are positive, people who are looking to the future with some positivity. Having people like that around you helps a lot, because they can build you up when you're down, and we all face it. I face it. I have days when I'm down. But having people around me who I can call and say, hey, how's life? And they can, ask you about what you're working on. They can contribute to how you can improve potentially. Things like that, are things that have been able to kind of help me during this time as well. And not forgetting, I should mention this, this period has helped me become so much closer to God as well. This last 12 months, it's just been one of those seasons where, there's so much uncertainty. You're not quite sure where things are going. You're trying to put one foot in front of the other every day. But for me, that for me and my wife, that a lot of certainty comes from just looking above and just praying over things. And sometimes there's only so much you can do. You commit things to God and and do your bit. Do your bit of work and let God do the rest.
Amazing. Ken, you know what? We're done. Okay. The reason why I say that, look, guys, if we didn't get the essence of what he's saying here today, literally, we might as well go and jump in the River Thames, literally, because what Ken is saying, he's showing how things affected him, and he's shown the amazing positive things that came out of it. So when we hear him saying that he started to log in at 5 a.m, it's because before he never had to log in at 5 a.m. It was a choice, and that choice has borne its fruit, has borne its result. A consistent choice, mind you, isn't that right, Ken? Yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, and what you said there about getting more time to be productive and to work, getting a team to follow and do the same. You know what? I'm gonna do that now. I'm literally gonna apply that right there, because it just makes perfect sense. You get more out of a day and be consistent with it. Surround yourself with good people. So maybe you probably have people around you, probably family members or whatever, who are not so positive. But you know what? We can't delete them from existence. But we can manage our affiliation with them. We can manage how much time we spend on them, and make time to be around good people that will help us to build our dreams and have the right thoughts. And also, what Ken said is it helped him to become close to God. I mean, a time where we can actually choose what we do with our time. You know what I mean? To not have God in the mix is a bit suicidal, isn't it, Ken?
Oh, absolutely. For me, it's like running blind, basically. That's kind of how I look at it, personally.
Oh my gosh, Ken, you're just a volcano. Look, I just sit here. We've got one of our breakfast show talkers here. Well, some of our breakfast show talkers. Let me just catch up. It says it's from Francisco57 saying, "Hello, Ken is gold to get good to get you among us. Thank you for the stronger breakfast." I love it. Our ego, vision, and ambition have to get some meaning in our life to get that strong push and create our our dream. Then we have Selena says, does Ken and his wife offer one-to-one coaching? The answer is, Ken?
The answer is yes. Yes, we do.
The answer is yes. Ken, what's your email address so that we can get our listeners to get in touch with you directly? Because I know from the website you've got information, but also the email.
It's just Ken, Ken at thehumblepenny.com.
All right.
And that comes straight to my mobile phone. So feel free to reach out if you want. Yeah.
That's it. Fantastic. Then we have Bob Louis saying, something I heard over the weekend was instead of investing in fancy cars that decrease in value, invest in something that will increase. It's all about choosing investment that works for you. So that's an interesting take there. And something says, okay, for finances. All right, guys. So look, Ken, we've literally have run out of time. I know we had some gremlins in the system, but thankfully we're going to have you again next week Tuesday. All right, and what we can do, we can expand, because there's a lot more that happened during your lockdown that we can touch on, and then we can and I know that with you got things to share with us about family. You know, many times when you were speaking, you said you said us, me and my wife, you know, and that says a lot. You know, you were just speaking, but already that echoes volumes for somebody who wants to build something in this life and take really strong changes, you know, to navigate this environment or whatever they're trying to build and create. So definitely we're gonna have to have a Tuesday on that, and obviously it's just gonna be, I know you're fully loaded and ready to add to our listeners today. All right, so Ken, I just want to thank you. Any last words before we finish up for today?
No, I just want to thank everyone who's listening and anyone who's going to listen in the near future. And I know that life can be challenging, but I can tell you, there are people who have a positive outlook on life achieve far more. So focus on working on yourself, working on who you are, understanding your identity, believing in yourself. Those are the core foundations you need to begin to see the outward things happen, whether it's wealth building, whether it's better relationships, whether it's promotions at work. It begins with you first. So work on yourself and everything else will follow.
Gosh, salt on that. Drop it like it's hot. All right, and Bob Louis says, thank you all. Have a great day. All right, so look, guys, this is it. This has been Ken from The Humble Penny. To see more on him, we're putting his website on the screen. You can see it scrolling at the bottom of the bar. We've given you his email address for you to contact him directly. You can see he's very passionate about what he does. This guy, you know, everything he's doing is on purpose, and he wants you to, you know, he really wants to help people to make a clear difference. So please feel free. He's an open book, as you found today. And guys, I just want to thank you all for tuning in today to the breakfast show. Look, you know, we just keep on popping. Yeah, where the lockdown is easing up, but guess what? We want to come out of the lockdown even better than when we started. And whatever the future may bring, like Ken shared with us today, we have a choice. Every single decision we make with a pound coin or wherever we decide is steering us into a positive or in a negative. We have the power in our hands. So on that note, guys, thank you once again. I want to thank Hugo, our brilliant man of sound, the Brazilian Clark Kent. Thank you so much for being a great man of sound today. Yep.
Thank you.
I've been seeing him sweating those gremlins. All right. And I also want to thank you, dear listeners, everyone, for those of you from the UK, Europe, Oceania, Sweden, crew, Taiwan, wherever you are, the Fiji, wherever you're from. I just want to thank you all for being with us today, because this show works because of you, and I hope you've been added to today. Tomorrow, we're going to be having the dynamic duo Wealth, Health and Success, Ronald Petrina, coming in, where we're going to do a new book review, and we're going to be looking at bulletproof dating. Okay, so mainly it's been success books, but tomorrow we're going to be looking at bulletproof dating, and also we're going to be having the extensive wellness tip as well from the one and only nutritionist Ronald, who's literally going to go in, guys, and it's going to be absolutely powerful. So don't miss out. Let's wake up nice and early. Set your alarm clock, because it's your breakfast show, and until then, ciao for now. God bless you. Wherever you are on the globe, start your morning right. Monday to Friday from 6:30 a.m. to 8 a.m. UK time. Join Robert Ashite and Hercules, your man of sound,
Connect online Monday to Friday with special guests for inspiration, motivation to start your morning right. Music, banter, fun and laughter. Connect when you start your mornings with The Breakfast Show. Only on libertyradio.co.uk. That's right, The Breakfast Show is back. libertyradio.co.uk from 6:30 a.m.